Hello and welcome to Earn the Commute, the series where we explore phenomenal workplaces from all across the world where the employers truly understood the need to lure people into their office rather than mandate it. I am your host, Oliver Baxter, and join me today as we explore PwC Dubai. Walk me through the forethought that went into this space.
So PwC wanted to include a theatre space that would function as part of their experience center offering. And this is a space where they can showcase different types of things to different clients coming in, but it can also be used as a staff space. And because we have the height within the space, that's why we have the tiered seating throughout here. So you can get quite a large number of people within the space.
So should we go and check out some of the other spaces?
Let's do it.
Welcome to the workshop. One of those other interesting ways that we can use to lure employees back to the office is allowing them to bring their pets to work. And of course, we have a great example of this robo dog here today. How are you doing, little buddy? And if you look around this workshop section of PwC, you'll find that there's these haptic vests. Again, this helps with training, so people can figure out like how to train on site and have that feedback, that very real feedback of electric shocks to know when something isn't going quite so right. Later, come and check this out. So what we have here is a camera that is basically telling us your age.
927?
No, 26, maybe.
Oh, 26.
So yes, and it's also judging the sentiment analysis as well. So the fact that you're smiling, it kind of shows you with an emoji just how happy you're feeling. So if we position these sorts of things in a lobby, we can assess how happy people are that are coming through the facility.
When I did the kisses, it went up to 97. Hey!
And I'm 35. So I'm also joined by George here from PwC, and he's going to explain a little bit about the thinking of this space.
So this is our emerging technologies space where we look at a lot of the technology development that's still not realized in the market. We experiment a lot with new technologies and see how we can bring that into the business and support our clients.
Yeah, I suppose it has to be easy to change up the environment. I noticed these tables even have wheels on them as well, so you can reconfigure it.
Yes, it has to be very flexible.
I would love to know who signed off the budget for the tech that's actually in this space. I mean, we've got the HoloLens over here, Oculus, like every single part of augmented and virtual reality is included, not to mention these lovely little drones up there as well. We're also joined by Sarah French, who's the head of corporate real estate for the Middle East, and we're going to be talking about some of the product selection that went into this wonderful floor plate design. Sarah, please talk to me about some of these booths that you have here.
So actually, we've moved some of these around in the office because they are so popular. We wanted to make sure that we had them available for everyone in every space. So these are the boss booths, which are more kind of open collaboration, but the hush booths are the most popular thing in the world.
Let's check out the hush booths.
So these hush booths are, we've got 4-person and then we've got 1-person. So this is all space that the teams can come in and out of when they want to have meetings rather than constantly sitting in there for a whole day.
And while we're here, Sarah, did I spy some Bisley storage over here as well?
Yes, absolutely. So the lockers, these are in quite discreet places around the floor. They're not kind of stuck at the end of desks and in that very traditional old style way of doing things. We knew we needed to have flexible space that people could come and go, no ownership, no personalization. And just keep it so that anyone can sit anywhere, and that genuinely happens. When you talk to the partners who sit out in the open plan with their teams, they're so much more positive. They're like, well, I didn't like it that I was kind of in my own little bubble and they had to come and see me like I'm the boss. It's nice to actually feel part of the team, and actually I think it makes for a much more productive working environment.
So I'd love to understand a little bit about the typical working day for a PwC employee.
Yes.
Probably a good place to start would be in the setting that people feel first drawn to in the morning, which is somewhere to grab a coffee.
Absolutely, yep.
If you wouldn't mind talking us through this wonderful pantry space that you've got here.
Yeah, and actually it's one of our favourite spaces on each of the working floors. So people come together here at lunchtimes, first thing in the morning when they're getting their coffee. So in terms of what we've got function-wise, we've got the recycle bins. This office is well platinum, so we wanted to make sure that we had all of those requirements.
That's what I like about this space, is that it's actually open to the elements, to the rest of the floor, and then you've got workstations and work areas in such close proximity.
Absolutely.
So should we go and check out some of those as well? Okay, so this is the reason why you need sit-stand desking across the floor plate. When you've got people that are this freakishly tall. Say hello to Grant from PwC. Grant, if you wouldn't mind just showing us the height adjustability of the Senator desk here.
No problem. Not sure about the comment about being freakishly tall, but I do find it quite handy at times.
Yes. Because it's great not just to be able to, work in a seated position, but being able to stand up for a period of the day is really going to help you with your well-being.
Absolutely.
Which I think was the intention behind it, right? To achieve the well-building standard.
I should hope so, yes. No, I find it quite useful.
I noticed this strange little snake that's kind of peeking out of the floor here. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Yeah, and we have these in quite a few of our meeting rooms where you just want to make sure that you can kind of plug into power in areas that aren't normally set for power. And this was a design that came from our furniture consultants back in the UK, and they found it really popular. Just where you didn't want to be kind of right in the open plan, but you didn't need that fully enclosed space.
I'm so sick of seeing meeting rooms crammed with chairs that is beyond capacity that they'll ever actually realistically get used. So we have a more precision fit meeting space here and some wonderful technology as well. Sarah, could you talk to me a little bit about the Cisco system that you've got here?
So what we have now is we have a panel on the outside. So if the room isn't booked or there's no one in here, then you can just come and literally press and book that meeting room there and then. You can also see if you're wandering around the floor looking for a space, and you can see if it's booked because it lights up as red if it's booked. We have quite a few spaces that fit 6 people. We've also got a number of meeting rooms that have enough space for 4.
You can come from one of the meeting rooms and you come into a pocket of space where people can continue the conversation that's happening right after a meeting. This space has the Alamira Jinx product within it. So one of the reasons that it was chosen was it's quite a soft element. It gives this idea that it can be an informal conversation that's happening here. It's got really good back support. There's different choices of colors. Even the choice of the finish itself helps with a lot of the acoustics within the space.
So let's say I'm an employee and I've got some tech issues that I need resolving.
Yep.
Talk me through this space.
Yeah, so absolutely. So you'll come down onto this floor and you will register on the iPad that's just over there. And then you'll come in and you'll be greeted by one of our technicians who will help solve your problem. And actually they're incredible. They're very efficient. It's kind of set up deliberately a little bit like an Apple store. So there's plenty going on this floor, and it's really the heart of the office. We call it the base, and it's kind of like where you base yourself to get things done.
This might also be a good space to talk about occupancy and utilization, like pre-move and post-move.
Yes.
So what do those numbers look like?
Yeah, it's interesting actually, because I think what we found in all of our offices throughout the region that we've upgraded is that people want to come into the office more. And we know why.
Yeah.
Because even though before they may have had their own space, it wasn't as inviting, the environment wasn't as inviting. Whereas now people come in and they see it more as a social setting. I mean, we're now back to 4 days a week. People are encouraged to come into the office, but I think a lot of people just come in every day because they like being at the office.
Were you watching closely? Now that's how you earn the commute.